while I get my stuff ready. How's everyone doing today? Sunday? You guys doing well? Tell me where we're watching from, guys. Alex Hines! Welcome to the show, bud. How are you? Good to see you. Gridbug Mark, thank you so much for sharing, guys. Those of you who are tapping hearts to get the show excited, get the show started here, thank you very much. Hi, Allie. How's it going? Kyle, how are you? Northern California, Fremont, if I'm correct. Casey, those of you who are sharing, thank you so much. You can share it with your followers. You can share it with Twitter. We want to get the message out there. And of course, share it with people who aren't able to join us right now, and they can catch the replay viewers. These beautiful hearts that are floating up here, we appreciate that so much. Get the show going. We're setting a very positive, upbeat atmosphere here. And what I find is that the last lesson I did, I noticed that in certain portions when we're playing, the hearts stop because obviously we're playing, right? So that's fine, but when we do stop and you see me talking, do me a favor and just keep those hearts going, because that way you'll let me know that the stream is still coming through. And today, it's no problem, Stockton, we'll see you in a little bit. And today, I'm gonna be trying something new where I'm really gonna need some help with letting me know that the scope is still coming through. Any way to turn your mic up. This is as loud as it goes. I don't think I can adjust the gain for the microphone on this. And it's gonna be switching here just a second. Can you guys hear me okay right now? Is this coming through? It's all good? Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate that feedback. Okay, this is good. We have a very, I have a very ambitious lesson for us today. And there's a good chance I might have planned more than we're gonna have time to get through. Yes, but it's a little soft, and my volume is up. I don't have a way of fixing it, but I do want to show you guys this next bit that I'm going to try. Check it out. And this is my, guys, as we're doing these lessons, hey Beetle, how's it going, guys? Thanks for joining the lesson. As we're doing these lessons, first off, the weather is a little unusual today. You can see that it's super windy, and there's a good chance that this might affect the sound as we're doing this. So just bear with me. If it sounds windy, I'll watch the replay, and the next thing on my list of things to do is to get a one of those fuzzy sock things for the microphone. So here is my experiment for the day, guys. What's up, Justin? How's it going? Now, as I'm giving these lessons, I'm doing my best to share with you guys, but I'm also learning a lot as a teacher as well. So let me try something, and you guys tell me what happens if or not. Can you hear me? Is there any sound? Hearts? Yep. Oh man, oh dang, Carl Drum Tech. Check it out, guys. Very loud, so now you can hear me, okay? All right, guys, so very clear. What's happening right now? Now, if I go like this, can you see me? Is this coming through? If I switch back, nice pad? Yeah, I think it's a pretty nice pad. I'm pretty happy with it. So what is the difference? The sound went down. Okay, so with this angle, this is, okay, soft. With this angle, this is the camera phone angle, and the picture's kind of strange for me in this instance. So I'm not gonna do too much of this. To this camera angle, this is the GoPro that's filming the pad. And it's gonna be perfect. Cuts out when you go to your So Much Better. Sound cuts out when you go to Luke, thanks. Loud. Am I yelling into the microphone? I'm gonna step back just a little bit. Okay, so guys, this is a learning process for me too, so any feedback that you can give me as I'm doing this, that's gonna help a lot. Doing this. Okay. How's this? So on my screen right now, it's a flipped screen. It's kind of messed up, but we're just gonna roll with it and see how we can make it work. So, okay, so let's get into the materials. For those of you who already know, the grid book is giving their lesson right after this. What sticks are those? These are the Innovative Percussion FSBK 1s, and now they're the FSBK 2s, which are the Velocity 6. So you can check that out. We have just under an hour because, of course, we're all going to stay after this and jump on the grid book series lesson at 8 p.m. Central. You tech at Phantom. I used to tech at Phantom. I teched at Phantom in 13 and 14. Was co-caption head for those both years. My wife and I had a baby last September, so anticipation for that. I needed to cut a lot of things out of my life, and it's been great. Of course, I missed the marching percussion activity, but dude, dad life, baby life, guys, it's the best thing ever. So yeah, thanks Alex, appreciate it. Keeps 53, guys. If you don't follow Keeps, you should. He's currently the snare tech at Phantom, and he played in the snare line when I was teaching there. So check him out. Make sure you guys say, hey, what's up, and you check it out. Suda. Okay, let's get into the content, guys. So today, the lesson is left hand traditional. Now, if you are interested in jumping online, this handout is located online. You can find me on my website at Huei-Yuan.com/Periscope. That's the page where I post all of the lesson notes. I repost this lesson video, and ooh, it's getting a little windy. So I'm going to switch to this. How's this? Okay, so yeah, hard to hear, can't hear very well. This better? Yes. Okay, good. All right, so guys, how's this? Can you see me here? All right, so we'll do a little improv. So if you go to my website, which is huei-yuan.com/Periscope, and then you type in lesson and then the number, so in this case it'd be Periscope/lesson4, you'll find the handouts. Download for this handout, and after the show I post the video of this on there as well. So for people who aren't able to catch the replay, you can go on there. Consider this an open invitation to go check out these downloads. They are free, completely free, so print them out for your friends, and then make sure you share them with your friends. The whole point of these handouts is just to elevate the level of percussion community and drumming, and to spread the love of drumming. Okay, so feel free to do what you will with that to make sure it's great. Pedal Percussion, thank you so much for sharing that. And let's just jump right into it. Now, there's a huge delay on my screen from what I see camera-wise. Is this still coming through for you guys? Hello? K84U, thank you. It's good? Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. And periodically, I'm going to check in. Hearts over here will let me know. When's the album dropping? Hearts over here let me know that the cast is still coming through. Thank you so much for sharing Rudimental. Justin, appreciate the share on Twitter, guys. And if you guys comment throughout, like I said, there's this huge delay that's coming through the screen right now, so it might take me a second to respond what's happening as we're doing this, okay? Rock and roll, brother. Okay, if for something stops working, just let me know in the comments, and I might have to log off and jump back in, but let's get into it. Okay, so part 1, imitation. Observe, compare, critically assess. Now here's the deal, guys. When you're learning something new, the most powerful thing you can do is just to look at it and imitate and copy. I find a lot of times when I'm teaching younger students that I'll say, hey, do this, right? In my mind, I think, well, they'll just look at my hand and they'll make their hand look like mine, right? But try this. If you're a teacher, next time you're teaching younger students, try this. Say, okay, everyone do this, and raise your right hand. I bet at least 1/3 of the class will raise their left hand instead of their right hand. And you'll say, no, which hand am I holding up? Say right. You say, okay, now do this. And they'll do their left hand, and you'll say, okay, now do this. And they raise both hands. You say, okay, good. Now go like this and do this. This is all to say that I find that I actually have to teach young students how to imitate, okay? And for mature players, this is what you need to do as you're imitating. Okay, let me make sure this is still coming through. All right, we got 50 people in the room. This is turning into quite the party. Okay, thanks for those hearts, guys. I appreciate that. So, when you're learning something, let's say you're going to a drum corps audition, you're at your high school learning from your instructor, you're in a private lesson, this is what you need to be doing. I'm gonna move this chair for a second because I can only kneel for so long. This is what you need to be doing. Okay, as I'm playing, you need to look down at yourself, then look at your instructor, then look at yourself, and then look at the instructor, and go back and forth and compare. And the whole point is that you're watching, okay, I look at your teacher and you say, okay, I want to look like that, then look back at yourself and say, okay, I want to look like this, and then go back and forth. And so through a series of 8s, can you turn the camera for 90 degrees? I mean, like raise it up. Like this. I've never seen a lesson on Periscope. Cool, well, welcome. Thanks, guys. Rotate. Yeah, we're gonna get a back shot in a second just so that we can see this, okay? So, and real quick, guys, if this is the first time you've joined, don't forget to swipe right and click follow so that you get more of these lessons in the future. Okay, so in a typical lesson format, or if you're at an audition, this is what you should be doing if you're not in like a performance mode. So I'm playing 8s like this, and just watch what my eyes do. Let's pretend I'm the student in this case and my teacher is playing across from me, okay? Watch what my eyes do. I'm looking at the teacher, and I look at myself. And I look at the teacher, look at myself, look at the teacher, look at myself. Okay, can you guys tell me what I'm doing and why do I keep going back and forth? It's like we've got two cameras here, right? We've got the phone camera, we've got the GoPro camera, and we're going back and forth between the two screens. But as a player, you're going back and forth between the teacher and me. Yes, mimicking. So I'm trying to copy and see what the teacher's doing, right? But also to see if you're matching the teacher. Exactly. So not only are you looking at what the teacher's doing, but you're also looking at yourself to see like, okay, what looks the same? And more importantly, what looks different? What am I doing that's not the same as my teacher? Yep, adjusting your hands. Very good, Alec. And you're checking to see what's the same, what's different, and you're making those adjustments. So what I wrote for this is observe. You're looking at the teacher. You compare the two, see what's the same, what's the different, and then critically assess. Critically meaning you have to be able to tell what's the same and what's different. Don't wait for your teacher. Johannes, what's up? Don't wait for your teacher to tell you like, oh, you're not doing this or you're not doing this. The best students, the best players, they're the ones that are able to look at something and copy and imitate. Okay, does this make sense, guys? Hey, Ryan. Are you Kylie Jenner? I don't know what that means. Hi, White Piggy. Thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for those hearts. Okay, if you have questions about imitation, bring that back up later in the lesson. Okay, all right, next. Rotation, mechanics, finger placement. Okay, here we go, guys. This is the main event. I'm gonna switch back to this first camera angle. Bring this down just a little bit. Okay, guys, so the purpose of this camera angle is just for you to be able to see my left hand. And what's exciting about this, yeah, this will be on replay, guys. You can check it out later. Okay, so what's exciting about this camera angle is you guys are getting to see my left hand from the angle of when I look at my left hand, right? And usually when you're playing from your instructor, the camera angle's from the front, which is important. You can see what it looks like. But today what we're gonna do is, I've never done this before. We're gonna experiment and try this together, guys, so this should be fun. But I'm gonna walk you through how I set up my students with their left hands when they first start. So let me say two things before we start. Mark from the grid book is always really great about saying this. He says, you know, I'm showing you the way that I do things, and I'm not to say that this is the way to do it. And Mike McIntosh used to say this to us all the time when he was teching us at Cavs. He would say, look, this is a way to drum, it's not the way to drum, okay? So this is one way to do it, and this is how I set it up. And I'll talk a little bit about how I got started and etc. So just take everything with a grain of salt. If this is different from what you've learned previously, don't worry about it. Just take the stuff that you like and leave the stuff that maybe you're working on. I will say that my left hand has gone through so many iterations from when I first started. And this is just where I've arrived now, and this is what I think works well for me, and this is what I teach my students. So check it out. So I'm gonna walk us through from the very beginning. And for those of you who already play traditional grip, what I encourage you to do, and Carl Drum Tech talks about this a lot as well, think about how this applies to what you already do, and this is meant to enhance what you do. And also, the second half of the lesson, I'm going to talk about some advanced concepts that will help those of you who have already learned this before. So feel free to walk this with me, guys. As always, thank you so much for tapping the screen, and thank you for doing this. All right, here we go. One of the best left hands in the game. Thanks, Keebs. It's nice of you. I will say one thing, guys. I used to obsess about my left hand constantly, so you're getting some insider info here. All right, here we go. Number one, this is really easy. It's like a 4-step process. Check it out. Step one, left hand is twisting the doorknob, right hand is knocking on the door. How many of us have heard that analogy before? Pound some hearts out, guys, if you've heard that analogy before. So you can put your hands on the pad like this. You're knocking on the door with this hand, and you're twisting the doorknob with your left hand. Okay, so the first thing that I always have my students do is you hold your sticks about here, right? You kind of set it up for them at this angle, and they set it here, and all they're holding on to with the stick, and you can see, is that they're holding the thumb and the pointer finger, like so, okay? And then you set it here, and the first thing I ask them to do, just watch my wrist and my arm, guys, and you can do this with me. You're not the first hammer to obsess on their... That's true, Carl. All right, so we're turning our left hands like this. Okay, now there's a couple things that you should notice, okay? First off, I always tell my students to look at this part of their hand. As you're turning, if you don't see this part of your hand fanning, then you're probably doing this. Okay, notice that it's straight up and down. What you need to look for exactly is this rotary motion that Carl's talking about, and your hand should be turning as you're doing this. Now, if you're turning this motion, the other thing, excuse me, that you're looking for is as you're playing from this angle, and we'll do this in just a second, guys. You want to make sure that your stick is going straight up and down. So we'll try this in a little bit. The mirror should be facing. You should always do this with the mirror, especially when you're first starting out. Okay, so you've got this going on like this. Okay, and then the next step is this whole process is going to be what we call additive. Okay, so I literally start my students with just their thumb, and they're doing this. Okay, and the next thing I say is, okay, good. Add your pointing finger, and notice that I always tell them to put their right stick down and say, okay, add your right finger, put your thumb on top of your pointing finger like this, make sure there's no space here, connect these two, make sure your thumb is not down like this, but angled up like this. Okay, so let's try it. It's the same thing, but you're gonna start like this, and then add your finger, and you wanna make sure that your pointer finger does not change the motion or the stroke of your stick. Okay, now as you're doing this, guys, or as I'm doing this, I encourage you to pick up your sticks and try doing this with me. And what are you doing? You're looking at my hand, you're looking at your left hand, you're looking at my left hand, you're looking at your left hand. You're going back and forth, and you're comparing and trying to imitate how we're doing this. Now, even if you choose to not play this way, you can learn to imitate. One thing I used to do is one game I like to play is I look at other people's hands and I try to see if I can imitate the way their hands look. Whether it's good or bad, it's just a skill that you're looking, and it's like a chameleon. You're trying to see if you can copy them. Okay, so step one, just the thumb. Add the pointer finger. Motion and stroke doesn't change. From here, your middle finger is going to go, and I always say that you want to connect your middle finger to your pointer finger here. And your middle finger, you're going to want it to rest on top of the stick, because this is going to help you later when you start doing two-height drumming stuff. Your middle finger on top of the stick is going to help you keep the stick down. You know, a lot of my friends when I was marching, they would play with their middle fingers off the stick like this. And they argued that that allowed them to play faster because there was less meat on the stick. I get that, but I choose to play with my finger on the stick. More mass on the stick translates to more volume or more sound quality later. Let's say we're doing bucks twos. Instead, you play like this. 4, 8. I mean, think about it. You've been playing your right hand since like 5th or 6th grade, and you're just now teaching your hands how to do this completely new technique in your left hand. Of course it's going to be worse. Of course it's going to be behind. So you need to practice your left hand more so that you can get it to catch up to your right hand. Ah, see how we did that there? Okay, so double whatever you're practicing in your right hand in your left hand so that it can catch up to your right hand. Sound quality, slicing, we already talked about. Excellent. Okay, this is the exciting part, guys. Finger control. I think Mark mentioned this and a couple other guys mentioned finger control. We're coming up on the last 5 minutes here, and then we'll take some questions, which is, this might be the most exciting thing, guys. Check it out. Okay, so I'm going to go back to camera angle 2 here and show you this finger control exercise that my friend showed me a long time ago. I'm going to show you both the right hand and the left hand. Okay, so you know how we were doing this earlier, and we're talking about rotation. Okay, now once your students can do that, or once you can do that really consistently, and you're checking this part of the hand to see that you really are turning it, check this out. You're going to move just your thumb, but you're going to keep this all the same. Okay, so notice that this is not moving. All the motion is coming from my thumb. Try this with me, guys. See if you can tap the screen as you try this with me. Right hand on the phone, left hand on the pad. I see some of you are struggling with this right now. I see this like sporadic heart meter coming out. Oh, there you go. You guys are getting better. Okay. All All right. Thank you guys for those rides. I appreciate it. Okay, so your left hand is just a thumb. Okay, now check this out. It looks like a tick. The hearts, I'm not sure what that means, Jacob. Okay, so we're turning it like this. The thumb's going like this. Now watch what I do next. Thumb is motivating the stick. The hand is not rotating. I'm plugging my phone here. Oh my God. Guys, sorry about that. Okay, so let that be a lesson to you. If you didn't subscribe and you didn't follow, then you're not getting this second one. Bah. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for coming back in, everybody. If you wouldn't mind just resharing this out to everyone just so they get the notification, that was totally my bad. We're like crescendoing to the end of the lesson here, and I just dumped 60 viewers. My bad. Thank you for the invite, Marvin, Beetle, Casey, BDKL. Okay, those of you guys who are coming back in the room right now, if you hadn't subscribed and followed, let that be a lesson to you. Huei's keeping you on your toes, and he might drop you, and then if you're not following, you're gonna miss out on the most important part of the lesson. Thank you for sharing, guys, as we're coming back in. Okay, so let me finish up what we're doing here. Okay, check this out. Thumb is motivating the stick. Watch what I do next. So I'm not rotating my hand like this. I'm trying to motivate the stick purely with my pointer finger. Okay, so let's go back with just a moment. This is the thumb. This is the pointer finger. And then, if you want to take it a step further, you can isolate just the middle finger also. And notice that I'm not turning my hand at all right now. Back to the pointer finger. Back to the thumb. Exactly. In this small finger control thing, this is what's going to allow you to play those low, fast passages. Because you've got that finger control that you can use. In addition to your wrist turn. Because you're turning your wrist like this, but your fingers in conjunction with your wrist motivating the stick. That's what's going to allow you to get those small twitches out. So are you pushing your thumb on the stick while you're playing? It's a combination of all of it. You know, it's like you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this. You're teaching your fingers how to motivate the stick. And notice I still keep my ring fingers on the stick a little bit. It's still contacting the stick, but without pressure. Right? So you're getting your finger control for that. You can also do this on the right hand. And actually, I'm going to save that for a future lesson because we've got to wrap up here in just a little bit. We've got about 9 minutes until Gridbook fires up, and we want to make sure that we are ready for that, and we'll grab a drink of water, maybe a snack before the next lesson kicks in. Okay, so that's finger control. Okay, guys, so let me wrap up some ideas. The 79 of you who are in the room pounding hearts right now, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone coming back in the room. Again, apologies for dropping the scope, but I'm learning some new technology, trying to get it to work. I just understand the motion of your thumb when moving the stick. Your palm is awfully sky-facing. Ah, that's true. As we're doing this, what I'm looking for, and I tell my students this, and this might just also be the angle of the camera, because you're literally watching it from like 45 degrees up above. But what I look for is that if it's raining, the rain should fall into your palm. Oh, sorry, you can't see. The rain should fall into your palm and then run off your palm like this. Okay? So I see what you're saying, but as I'm looking at the camera angle, it looks a little bit different than what I'm actually looking at from here. If you could, I can't detach the camera to show you what I'm talking about, but actually, I'm just curious. I'm going to switch the cameras real quick. Yeah, it's still this weirdo split on. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so it probably looks like this as you're playing. This is like an overhead cam shot, etc. Okay, next. I'm going to wrap up here, guys. If you have more questions, I'll do my best to answer them in just the last few moments here, but power's dying. I've got everything plugged in, but I just want to make sure that we're ready to go for the next bit, okay? Check it out. Whose packet is this? Me. Okay, so this is how it works, guys. This information, what I talked about today, the lesson outline, and this little one sheet is available at Huei-Yuan.com/Periscope. Actually, let me show you this little thing that I made right before we leave. This is the last thing, guys. And guys, we're on our way out right now. So one thing I like to do is if you want to give me some outgoing hearts, we're coming up in the last 3 minutes here. And if you thought this lesson was helpful, or you found it interesting or entertaining and fun, I really appreciate if you guys are pounding those hearts as I wrap up here, okay? So check this out. That's me. That's where you can find me, Huei-Yuan Pan, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube, at Huei-Yuan Pan. It's the same handle everywhere. And if you guys want to follow me and find me on those platforms, the main reason I've been doing this is to connect with people. So I'll put this here. You guys can see this in the background as we're wrapping up here. The main reason I do this with these lessons and helping people is that I've found that the percussion community is one that I'm firmly rooted in and really enjoy, and I think I've got some good value that I can add to this community. So this is me trying to bring value to our community as we're doing this, okay? This is my version of the IKEA handout. You know how IKEA is great about not using any text, they just got photos. So you can download both of these handouts on my website if you go to huei-yuan.com/Periscope lesson 4. This is available as a PDF download, and you can see the 4-step process we went through to set up your hands. I talk about how in this photo your fingers are too far out. In this finger you're cranking your pinky back so you've got unnecessary tension. In this photo, middle finger's off the stick and the thumb is pointing the wrong way. In this picture, this is what I'm looking for. And I worked out a long time, guys, trying to close this gap between my middle finger and my ring finger down. You know, I was joking earlier about how I used to stress and obsess over my left hand. Aesthetically, I just liked it better when there wasn't a big gap in my finger between my middle finger and my ring finger. And I always wanted to make sure that the way my hands looked didn't distract from the music that I was playing. So you might have to experiment a little bit with that to figure out how to get your hands to look like this. And again, that's just the way my hands look. By no means do you have to make your hands look like that in order to be correct or to look good. It's just one way of doing it, okay? So please follow these locations. Please share this so people can catch the replay. What are the benefits of beetle pads instead of other brands like Zymox? Do you Skype lessons? I do Skype lessons, although I'm not currently taking any additional Skype lessons right now. If it's like a single lesson that you want to set up, we could probably set it up, but I'm not doing regular Skype lessons. I just don't have the time for it, to be honest. But if it's something that you want help with, maybe we can set something up. Direct message me either on my website or Instagram, tweet me, etc. You can find me, I'm everywhere. I'll talk about the beetle pad, but first I'll talk about the sticks. This is innovative percussion. Full disclosure, I am an innovative percussion artist, but the FSBK's Brett Kuhn sticks, these are the sticks that I used when I marched, and I've tried literally every stick under the planet, and these are always the sticks that I still come back to. I just find that they're super diverse, and I love them. When did you march calves? I marched calves in 02, 03, and 04. 02 was frameworks, 03 was spin cycle. I marched snare for both those years, and then I went to the front ensemble in 04 for James Bond. Beetle percussion pad. What's the difference between Zymox and Beetle percussion pad? Well, the playing surface is different, but the main difference is the story behind the company. Beetle percussion, the wood is made out of beetle-killed pine from Colorado. So this is wood that actually had been killed by beetles, and they recycle the wood. And then the top, which is rubber plate, this is a 1/4-inch rubber. It's actually recycled tire material from California. So the whole point is the beetle percussion team is they're recycling material that's already otherwise useless, and they're turning it into a product that people can use for drumming in the drumming community. And you can see this is their logo. Whenever I get stuff, I like to customize my stuff, and so when I bought this, I make a little inscription that says, like, I got this in LA, it's 2016, and I put my name on it. Guys, if you haven't checked out Beetle Percussion, this means throws a quick plug out there, and I'm not a Beetle Percussion artist, this is just coming from someone who likes the product. You need to check out their website, you need to read their story, and I'm sure you're going to fall in love with them just like I did. Can you hit that cool grape feeling when it flips around? Sorry, I didn't see the comment. Which flip thing is it? Do you know who Joe Hobbs is? Yep, I marched with Joe in 04. He was playing the snare line, that was his first year, and I was playing in the front ensemble. Great guy, amazing teacher, big fan of his work. Question, did you march PR 2001? I did march PR 2001. That was my first summer of drum corps, marching at Phantom. I was one off center with Jonathan Morell, who also marched Phantom and Mystique. I learned a ton that year. I did not know anything. I could tell you, guys, I could tell you stories about 01 for days. I was terrible. Jonathan Morel turned me into less terrible. Cody Biasi. I don't recognize that name, Cody Biasi. But to be honest, Anu, 2001, I was like a pup and I didn't know anything, and I was just trying to survive the entire summer. So I didn't talk to him. All I did was practice and then talk to Jonathan. Did you ever do DCI, or did you go straight to DCI? Yep, just went straight to DCI. Joe is my rudimental father. Yeah, he's the man. I can tell you stories about Joe also. All good ones. All right, guys, that's my time. Today's lesson went by so fast. Hopefully it was entertaining and useful for you guys. It was just a lot of material, and I think I moved through it pretty quickly. But if you have any questions and I can help you with that, please follow, message me, and I'm here to help however I can. Follow. Also, if you haven't shared this this scope, please hit the share button so people can catch the replay. Replay viewers, if you're watching this, you can also tap on the screen as you're watching this to give some love and give some hearts. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on Sunday. Don't forget, everyone, just click over. If you haven't already followed Gridbook, I mean, figure it out. But follow Gridbook, click over to them, and you're going to watch Mark's lesson, and I can't wait to see. I'll see you guys on there in just a moment, okay? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Scope session. Hearts. Accelerando. Keeps. Thanks for the share, Keeps. Hey, from Sweden. See ya. Okay, it's 5:59. We have 30 seconds of hearts. If you guys want to give me some love. Oh, that's our time. Bye, guys.